My wife and friends had
department of the University of
Yeah.
Auburn University. It's amazing.
Oh, there they are. All right.
They come every year. We host them.
Roger.
It's kind of people are
Hey.
really neat.
Oh, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Tom.
Hey, Dennis.
Hi, Doug.
Little loud, Richard.
It just sounds
We
so
won't tell.
ominous there.
Can you
No,
control?
I
Yeah.
understand, that's not what we're thinking was, maybe some sort of a highlight of some
Let's go.
short-term rentals, do our research, make sure that we have some
Joe.
good stuff.
I don't know, that's a good question. Joe.
Our website, that
Yeah,
would at
that's
least
Joe.
keep us a little
Yep,
boost.
stop.
You mean Jeff?
What was gonna happen was we were gonna get.
Jeff.
Oh.
To the
There was
third
Jeff.
right, we were like, oh,
Let's
wait,
go. Yeah.
so now we're
Somebody's
like,
doing taxes,
okay,
I just
let's
know
like
that.
circle back and,
See what we think.
Anyway.
so, yeah, we'll talk, I mean,
Yeah, tomorrow's a major
You know,
deadline.
Major what?
Deadline for time zero.
Oh, that's right.
that, we
15.
Last
just
gasp.
literally last week got a clean.
Folks, if you're on, are we online, Richard?
From the city on short-term rentals and who they are, but I haven't had a chance. I'm going on vacation, I'm trying to,
31.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so when the countdown hits 0, you're live.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, I just wanted to let everybody know that's online that we're waiting, I believe, for one other person. Let me see.
Tony gonna be here?
Anyway,
I'm gonna see where Robert is right now.
we can start if everybody's here on your side.
Think so?
Jason, is Jason coming?
Jason Fields isn't here, but not sure he'll be, he didn't say.
Okay. All right, well, call to order then, might as well. All right, we have.
Turn your mics on
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
and closer to you guys.
How's that?
Nice.
All right. All right, let's do the pledge first, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, Tony Roos is not going to be here, even on Zoom, I believe, and because of a personal matter. And then Jeff is here. Dennis Lewis, Bob Travers, Jim McMasters, Kellen Saskin.
Asking.
Close?
Yeah.
Okay. And Lisa.
Julie Peterson.
Julie, sorry,
I know
Julie.
you're good.
Yeah, I can't.
I work with Kellen.
Maybe she looks like a Lisa.
I kind of do.
You work for Kellen, I did not know
I
that.
work
Okay.
with Kellen.
No, she's my boss.
That's what I. All right, so let's just go down the agenda here real quick. The approval of.
I'm here.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm
here.
That's right, Roger Coleman. All of a sudden you disappeared, by the way. Roger Coleman and Tom Sheridan, they're both on the
Oh,
committee.
okay.
They're on Zoom. So we
There
do
they are.
have a quorum. And so let's begin. Sorry about that, guys, but you can put them up somewhere on the bottom, at least we can see them. That would be greatly appreciated, Richard.
Yeah.
All right. So since we have a quorum, everybody, I assume, read the September 16th minutes, and we need to approve them. Okay, Don Loving just came in. Hello, Don.
Howdy.
Sporting that Dutch shirt.
Proudly.
We win.
So I make a motion that we approve the minutes of last month.
I'll
Second.
support that.
Okay, we have a second. Any objections? All in favor, say aye.
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 Hey,
No opposition. Thank you. All right, so we're just going to get into the public participation. And are both of you going to be speaking or just one? Would you like to speak?
Well, sure.
Oh, All right, do you want to introduce?
Certainly.
Okay. This
We
is
have
Dennis Lewis.
Lee Jensen, who is the director of our Case Newberg Tourism Committee. And then Percy Brandon is part of our board, and he is the general manager of the Allison Hotel. And in talking about the project that's in front of us for the clubhouse, for the golf course, I thought it would be wise for all of us to understand the value for tourism and how that relates to a clubhouse and how important that is to that particular economy. And so I know Lee has done a presentation to you, but I think it would be very good for Percy to give us a couple of minute update on what his thought process is on tourism and how it relates to the Allison. And the Allison, by the way, is our 80%er. They provide 80% of the funds that support tourism in our whole area. So he's a very significant player in how we go to tourism.
Very good. If you don't mind going to the podium and turning on the mic, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, well, the importance of, you know.
Yeah, it's public.
This is public stuff, there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Percy Brandon. I am the general manager of the Allison Inn and Spa, and I'm here supporting the tourism here in the city of Newberg. We're a proud partner, and like Dennis said, provide a huge percentage of the tax revenue, and consequently our organization continues to market the destination. Dennis came to me and talked, actually took me on a tour to the golf course, and it was, I gotta admit, I've been here a couple of years and didn't have the opportunity to have gone there before, and I was mighty surprised to see what an amazing course it is. And then he showed me the current clubhouse. And so I went back and I met with my team, especially for sales. We do quite a bit of business, group sales. You know, we have over 20,000 square feet of meeting space. And people are always, corporate groups are always looking for activities and other than wine drinking, you know, to go around and check out the area. And golf seems to be a real good part of what we need in order to continue bringing in more business. A lot of companies do entertaining, and they bring in, you know, people to come to the destination. And again, golf is one of those on the top for many of the luxury travel that we take care of. So Dennis showed me what the plan was for the clubhouse, and like I said, I talked to my sales team, and they were thrilled to hear that we would have something so close, and so good. Right now, some of the challenges that they've had is that when some of the groups that have come over and check out the golf course, there really isn't a place to hang out, to spend some time together, to eat or drink, and before or after the game. So having something that we could partner with, a stronger partnership, would be very welcome for us at the Allison. So tourism, talking a little bit about tourism, it's been a tough year. You know, we have realized that that travel has changed the way it used to be. The post-COVID, people were traveling all over the U.S., and what we found this year is that as the world opened, many of the travelers went abroad, and we see Europe, for example, bursting with Americans traveling over there. I mean, Italy is just crazy busy, and we saw the revenge travel that we used to have post-COVID changing, and then the peaks and valleys started coming in to us. We have two types of peaks and valleys in our hotel, specifically in Newberg. One is the weekly one, where people come on the weekends, and so midweek is very, very slow. That's what we need opportunities for us to continue selling to groups that will come in, and golfing is one of those that will help us. And then we have the seasonal, here in our area, we have a very short window of good weather. And so we have that other valley that we going to start reaching in about 10 days. And so I wanted to let you know that we are on, that we're ready to support any efforts that you would have to bring the clubhouse together. So if you have any questions.
Sure. I have one. When we were asked to do this, we were asked to put a survey together, and we did that, and we got a lot of response from that. We have over, I think, 50 requests or not answered to the survey, and it was amazing how many people said, we need a restaurant in the area, and especially at a clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Would you concur with that?
Absolutely. And what we need is, we need an event space with a restaurant. A good clubhouse in a golf course has both, has the place where people go to have a drink, have a sort of casual, burger, and the beer. Burgers are so popular in golf courses, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, we need the space to do some entertaining, because if you want to bring in groups, which is usually what happens in the middle of the week, they need a place to, to entertain their groups as well. That is not a tent. They need a structure that has all the services and all of that. And we are very supportive of that. The more restaurants we would have in this town, the better we will all do. Let me tell you that.
Well, that's why we're here. Thank you very
That's
much.
great.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
Percy, thank you
Percy,
very much.
thank you very much. There's no restriction. You can leave at any time if you're busy. I know that there's going to be a couple of guys that are going to be leaving, but thank you again. Well, Lee, would you be interested in talking right now?
I'm happy to talk. I can kind of tell you some of the.
Go- would you step to the mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. What do you want to know?
Everything.
Everything.
Your name and who you worked for, or who you.
My name is Lee Jensen, and I'm the executive director for Taste Newberg, which is your destination marketing organization for Newberg. So I market to the outside world, 50 miles and over, for people to come visit Newberg and stay in the hotels, which then brings in revenue and economic development for the area. And golf is a huge economic driver. In studies, they've seen that there's over $508.1 million in wages and incomes that comes into Oregon through golf. There's 69.0 million in state and local taxes that come into Oregon through golf. There is at least 16,000, if not more, jobs that are in Oregon that have to do with golf and golf courses or golf clubs. For an impact, the total spend, and the last time they did this report was in April of 2020. The total spend, so you know this is probably low, for golf visitors was $12.8 billion that comes in through golf. So having a amazing clubhouse like Percy spoke about would just draw more. It would help the whole economy. I mean, first of all, you'd get more visitors to come. You could offer more tournaments. You could have a restaurant, a place for people to stay, a venue, groups. It would help with group travelers in general. People do actually travel both business and leisure for golf. So in terms of occupancy, and that golf course is so gorgeous that people would come all year around to visit it. So those are just some of the, and what we see from economics is that people that travel for golf spend an average of $843 per trip, and a trip is usually about 2 days, is what they're saying. So just imagine if you got people to come and stay longer, which is part of our goal in tourism, is come stay as long as you can. And the more things that we have to offer them, the more trails, the more water, the more golf courses, everything that we have to offer, the longer they're going to hang out with Percy, which is helpful to all of us. So that's about it, unless you have more. Yes, question?
You have a question?
Thank you, Lee.
I have.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah. In your understanding of the area for tourism, is there a need for some area for a meeting place for people? It seems like we have very little here. There's the Allison, of course,
Cultural Center.
the Cultural Center. Can you think of any other locations that people congregate?
It's really about size and what you're offering, and it also opens up your destination to be able to bring bigger conferences, more people from out of state. If you have more meeting locations, you then can utilize not only the Allison, but also the Clubhouse at the same time. So you have abilities, you have different kinds of groups that are going to come. So you have a lot of weddings, you have weddings, you have the wineries, but it's a very different kind of traveler. One of the things that makes a destination successful and successful in all the need periods that Percy talked about is when you have a diversity of opportunities and experiences, because we can't just have a wine traveler. We need to have a wine traveler, and we need to have that guy that travels for wine and wants to go play golf at the same time. And then the kids want to go to the drive-in movie theater, and then his wife or partner wants to go down and walk around Old Town and do some shops. And then they want to go to all the restaurants in the area. And so and the spa, sorry, I forgot the spa. So those are all a bunch of different kinds of travelers. If you all stop and think about when you travel, and you travel maybe on your own, or you travel with your partner, or you travel with your family, or whatever, you're looking for lots of different types of things. Or you're a business traveler that's going to come for a conference and then stay longer. So the more opportunities we have, the more meeting space, the more restaurants, the more places for people to hang out. It not only helps the residents, it helps visitors, but it also helps the residents, because now you have more business opportunities for those residents. You have more opportunities for people to bring revenue in here and get a living wage job, so then they get to live and experience and feed their family here. So you're not just helping who's here, you're helping to build a community that's even stronger.
Fantastic. Good information. Anybody else?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Lee. Appreciate it. All right.
Bob?
Yes. You have a question? Who is it, Roger? Roger? Who is talking? Did I?
It's Roger, but he's frozen up.
Ah.
Yeah, for our two guests, one of the things that, can you hear me?
Now we can, yes.
Hello? Okay.
Yep, we got you.
Just one of the things we kind of wrestle with is a business plan. How can we make the restaurant, event center, whatever, pay for itself? It's one of the concerns, because this is a public, Chehalem Park and Recreation District is a public entity, and we want to make sure that we're not going to burden our people that live in our areas with this facility. So how do we develop a business plan that would make sense for this type of activity?
Percy?
My recommendation would be to do an RFP for operation. I think the best thing would be to have a company that is used to operating a restaurant and events. If I was one of them, I would think that, the money comes with the volume. So we need parties, we need weddings, we need, big lunches, tournaments, and all that. That pay. The restaurant doesn't pay. There's no money on running a restaurant. That's why we don't have that many. You need to have volume, and so if we have, I even said to Dennis, a place like McMinimans, they know how to do restaurant and parties. They're in that kind of business, and like them, they're operators that may be interested on having to operate the clubhouse. So you need both. That's why it's important to have a space that would be able to do a couple hundred people on an event, and then the setting is so beautiful that it would really help like the wedding business. A couple weddings a week pays for everything, and that's something that would have to be built on. But you need an operator that knows how to do that business.
Sure.
And
the pro's not going to handle weddings, I don't think.
I would recommend that.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? All right. Good information. All right. So now, Tom, let's go into the assistant chair position. This is an action item for the committee. Tom Sheridan has had to step down from the assistant chair, and so, but he wants to stay on the committee. So I'd like to grant him that, and also I nominated Roger Coleman to be his replacement as assistant chair.
I second that motion.
Okay. Any comments or concerns about that?
Turn off his mic.
All right.
Did you make a motion?
I did.
That was
Dennis.
that was
made
the
a
motion, I
I
guess.
made a motion that Roger Coleman would be the vice chair.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, but regardless,
Seconded.
it was a second from Tom Sheridan. All
Yeah.
right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. And Roger is now our assistant. And thank you very much for your time and effort, Tom. I know it was short-lived,
Yeah.
but at least you're still here, and that's important.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So you're going to be leaving in 10 minutes. All right. And so do you have anything to say, anything about that? All right.
So,
Yes, Tom. Bob.
before people start leaving, can I blow up your agenda for a couple of minutes?
Blow it up? What do you mean by that?
Well, I would like to offer,
Where's your mic?
do I have one?
There you go.
How's that? Okay, so, for those of you who don't know me, which would be you two anyway, so, my name is Don Loving. I was on the Park and Rec Budget Committee, 1989 and 1990, and then I was elected to a board seat in 1991, and I served for 32 years. The golf course is here, at least partially, because of me. So this is not the second golf course committee. This is probably the fourth or fifth clubhouse committee, either formally or informally over the years. The first official act of taking a step towards building the golf course happened in November 1992, when former Superintendent Don Clements and I went to a conference on public-private partnerships down in Las Vegas for public-private partnerships for building a golf course. We didn't end up doing it that way, but we gained some valuable information there. Some of which I think is still germane, and Kellen can jump in and say if it's not still. First thing we learned down there was that a clubhouse will never make money. Your best case scenario is that it breaks even. So you just have to know that going in. A clubhouse is never a moneymaker. But if you do things correctly, you can break even. In my tenure with the district, we never had a thought that we were going to operate the restaurant. That was always, restaurant people should operate the restaurant. Whether or not we run the rest of the clubhouse or you're going to contract the whole thing out, that's the decision for the current board. I don't have a vote. So that was the first thing we learned. The second thing that we learned that I've never forgot that was really interesting, math-wise, was this whole idea that if you want to double the number of rounds you can play in a year, you don't have to go from 18 holes to 36 holes. You only have to go from 18 holes to 27 holes. And then you can double your rounds. Because that way you can have, a full-scale tournament on 18 of your holes, and you've still got 9 holes for the public to play. And then by the time the public wants to turn over, there's 9 holes from the tournament either available, or if it's a huge tournament, you can just tell folks, look, if you want to play 18 today, you're going to have to play this 9 2 times, but we can still get you on there for 18. We have to turn down lots and lots of tournaments, and we can't really go out and we've never gone out and aggressively tried to recruit tournaments because we can't have the course closed every weekend in the summer for tournament play because it's a public course. And so that's where this whole idea, though, has always been that we need to do the clubhouse and the third 9 at the same time because the third 9 will be the revenue generator. Now, we used to argue back and forth. Brandon Thompson, who was Kellen's predecessor, and Don Clements and myself. Don is very, very conservative when it comes to numbers and budgeting. And he would never budge off the fact that that third 9 was going to generate more than an extra 10% kick in revenue. Brandon was adamant that it would be at least 20%. And that difference between 10 and 20 is a huge factor of, how much money you're going to make. And so I would defer to Kellen, and that would be something we'd have to, take a good look at. But that's just some of the history behind, how we got to where we're at. At one point in time, I know we're going to talk about, clubhouse tours and stuff. A friend of, some of you know Pete Sidarius. Pete and I started a little project about 13 years ago to play every golf course in Oregon. We're down to 27. Mostly private ones that, we wouldn't want at their clubhouse anyway. So I've seen almost every clubhouse in Oregon. And, at one point, Don and Casey and I went down at Pete's in my recommendation because, we had identified the clubhouse at Centennial Golf Course in Medford. It's the perfect golf clubhouse to replicate here. It's very nice, got a restaurant. There's a certain, I'm going to use a 50-cent word, there's just a certain synergy to how it was all set up and everything flowed in there and had a nice covered patio for events and stuff. Now, given the weather is better in Medford than it is here, we're going to want an event room that's covered as well for things. That was the one thing they don't have at Centennial. But otherwise, it was the perfect clubhouse.
What was the name of the club?
Replicate.
The golf course?
Centennial
that's
Golf
it?
Course in Medford, yeah. The day Pete and I played, there was 113. There was Pete and I and one other guy in the whole course. But the restaurant, we made the turn. The restaurant was packed with business people and just people in the community, and they're having lunch. There was 113. People went there for lunch and dinner and stuff. And so, we've got, the closest course to us in topography and kind of history and stuff is the OGA course over in Woodburn. They built that clubhouse there. It's twice as big as it needs to be. Darn near sunk the whole operation over there. And so.
Been there, seen it.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous
Beautiful.
clubhouse, but, it's just a money pit.
Big.
Too big. So, anyway, so there's been, I'm not trying to short circuit what you folks want to do, but I'm saying, some of this has been covered and gone over, and so there's a few things that, if you say, well, we should go look at this, I can tell you, maybe, yeah, we want to look at that one, or no, we don't want to do that one, stuff. But I just.
So you're aware
So anyway, that's all I want to say.
So you're aware that this is two parts of this committee, and they're both part of the golf course. One is in conjunction with the clubhouse, the third nine. So this is part of the third nine. It can't be done without the third nine. We're totally aware of that. Don Clemens has put that in our head quite a bit. So does Kellen, and I'm sure Jim has the same beliefs. So that is what we are going to do, is incorporate the third line along with the clubhouse. Financially speaking, I don't know if we can do it at the same time or phase one, phase two, but that's what we have to look at. It's not our responsibility, as you've been told many, many times. We are the gatherers of information. We submit it to the board for their decision-making and their changes, whatever they want to do.
Well, we do have the advantage that, it's been a long time, but, the revenue bonds that we issued to build the second nine will be paid off next year, so.
Yeah, one's already paid off, I'm told.
Yes,
We're
one.
all told.
That was the smaller of the two. The larger one gets paid off, pretty sure it's next year.
It is.
2025.
That's what we were told.
And so.
Don, correct?
Yes, and so like lots of, I know lots of folks that just, they go buy a car and they make the payments on the cars, and the minute the car is paid off, they go buy a new car, because they're just used to making that payment, so.
Yeah.
And so within the budget world of the park district, it's not completely infeasible that, we could just, at least pay for part of this by issuing revenue bonds and just keep paying what we're used to paying already. That is a possibility.
In your,
Easy for me to say, I'm not on board anymore.
in
but-
your estimation, how long do you think it would take to build a beautiful facility like you've seen the renditions? How long do you think that would take?
I'm not a construction person at all. I
Okay.
have no idea.
All right. All right, any questions?
Tom could answer that.
Yeah, I guarantee it'd be a 3-year process from, conception to construction to completion and ready to occupy. I mean, in today's world, you can't do it any less than two years, and it's, to be conservative, it'd be a 3-year process.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, sorry to interrupt your agenda.
Oh, no, good information. That's what we're here about. More the better. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. If you have to leave, by all means, you can leave anytime you want. As well, all right. So we have, that's approved. Creation of executive committee. Okay, I proposed that we start in a subcommittee. And it's for the three, the chair, the assistant chair, and the other person that would like. And I was told that the board had to be presented that, which we did last month. And so I'm just going to go forward with it and approve. If we have to make a motion, I will do that. But I don't know really the direction on that. If anybody could help me on the staff or the board. Does a committee, if we wanted to have a subcommittee of the committee, does it have to be approved by the board?
What would the subcommittee be for?
Strictly preparing, I thought I sent that to you guys, preparing for the agenda for the next month, and then gathering the information. Thank you very much for both of you guys coming here. Appreciate it.
The new public meeting laws are a little tricky on some of these things. So, and I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I read them thoroughly, and I think I'm legally we can do this only because we have a team of 7 here, the committee of 7, and I'm supposed to reduce it, keep it down to 3. And I've chosen the three most important, or not most important, but the ones that have a lot of information that is needed to gather and submit it as an agenda. So that's the reason, because if not, how are we all going to get together, legally speaking, without being in front of the public, just to gather information for our agenda? How does one do that without having a small get-together or a small subcommittee, as I called it?
Yeah, see, it's a little more difficult, like with the district, you know, you have a superintendent and staff to put things on the agenda, then they ask any board member if they wanna put stuff on the agenda, so that's kinda how we do it here. You know, as far as a committee, I mean, as long as it meets the DOJ requirements, it's fine. I mean, I personally, you know, like when people get together and form those type of discussions to be able to create information for a meeting. So, I can't give you a legal answer, but personally, you know, if you wanna get together, if you start making decisions, then that's a problem.
No, we're informed, and we already know that there's no decision-making in any of the subcommittees, this specific subcommittee, and others. You cannot make any decision. We don't make decisions anyway, so.
So at the risk of talking too much, you know, my closest experience, what you're asking would be, I was the board liaison for a little over 2 years. We had a Riley Park committee.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had a citizen share, we had 7 people on that committee. We had a citizen share of the committee, but the agenda was set, you know, through email. As the liaison, I had input, and then if members wanted to, something specifically be on the agenda, they emailed it to, a lady's name was Wendy. She was the chair of the committee, and Wendy was the one who set the agenda in, you know, in conjunction with me.
How many people were on your committee?
There were 7 on that committee.
And this was before the new laws that came down from Oregon?
Possibly, but, you know,
So that, I don't know anything about what it used to be. All I know is that we have to deal with these laws, Oregon laws now, for public meetings.
The other thing you can do is.
I'm sorry, but what I explained would not run afoul of the laws, because it's simply, if you want something on the agenda,
Microphone?
you email it to the committee chair and it goes on the agenda.
Similar to how we do it here. I mean, if we want something on agenda, or a staff member wants something on agenda, they turn the information into Kat or the superintendent, and it goes on the agenda.
Yeah, that's my question. Have you asked Kat to ask the board essentially to create the subcommittee?
I did submit that to Kat, and she said to talk to the board.
Kat's on vacation. She
Yeah, I
left
know.
today.
You won't be here for another 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a problem though, from just saying, okay, committee members, and then set it out, what would you like to have on the agenda? These are some of the things we've been discussing, and then they could put it on the agenda. I mean, instead of having another meeting, because people I know love meetings, but,
No, they don't, but I do. I mean, I'm a socialite, honestly. I really am. And I'd rather meet with people. I get more information in a personal
Sure.
area, or when we get together. But I don't think we're breaking any rules, new rules even, getting 3 of us together to gather information. I'm calling it a subcommittee, but legally speaking, I think, reading what I read, 3 of us can meet anytime, any place, and be within the rules and laws, whatever they're called, ordinances of Oregon State. True or false, please.
Without making decisions.
Without making decisions, that's
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
So I'm just going to leave it at that. We're going to continue on until we're told, hey, you cannot meet any longer. Okay? Thank you very much. Everything okay? Somebody, you have to leave at 6:30?
I'm good.
Okay.
All good.
All right. How is everybody online doing? Any comments?
Good. Are we into new business?
Let me see here. Okay, yes, there is. The questionnaire over there, online and at the clubhouse, we're going to leave it open for anybody that would like to respond, especially online, until December 31st, excuse me, October 31st. We'll have plenty of information. We already have a lot of information right now. But we just want to make certain that everybody has the opportunity to either go online or go over to the clubhouse and fill out that survey. So it's all about the questionnaire survey that we set up. And it's very informative for us, and it'll open your eyes up to see how many people want this or that, or it's just amazing what they are responding to here. So it's a good thing.
How's that been advertised?
Say it again.
How's that been advertised? How do people know there's a survey to take? Do they have
Let's
to
see, Kat
stumble
is
across
putting,
it on the website?
Yeah.
there is a spot where it says take the survey. And Kat is also, just got informed, but Kat also has a monthly write-up or writings. What is that called? Do you have any? I don't read it, so I don't understand. I didn't know what she meant.
Does a little article in the Newberg graphic.
Okay, and she said she's going to mention that and put a connection or a link on there. So yes, it's already being done. Any other way you can suggest? We'll hear it.
We have a list of patrons or something somewhere.
We do. We have a weekly CPRD newsletter that goes out that we can create a link to our website, so people can download that and take the survey. That would be a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please put that.
I mean, anybody that is in the clubhouse that picks up the current clubhouse, the triple wide, picks up a survey about, do you want to do clubhouse? I mean, we need to hear from non-golfers and just general members of the public, not people who only frequent the website or play golf.
Yeah. Well, you tell me how we can get deep into the community, and we will do it as much as we possibly can.
I think
Reaching-
Julie's talking about is a good one.
Reaching out to any sort of patron list we have would be
Yeah.
good. Say, hey, if you have an interest in the clubhouse. In my professional career, I have deep experience in polls and surveys, and so
You want to take that on as a liaison?
send it out to the list. There, done.
I like your style, by the way.
When Kat gets back, we'll create those links on the website for you. We'll get you guys on the CPRD newsletter. It goes out to anybody that's participated in any of our programming. In addition, we could send something out through Golf Now. So,
Golf Now would be fantastic, but that's another those golfers. We want a non-golfer decision, I guess, or at least comments on what they think about.
Yeah, if there could be some sort of like verbiage on that linked at, because exactly, it's like if we want this to be more than just a golf clubhouse for golfers, an event space, meeting space, like there's got to be some way to advertise that in those postings where we want the community input, not just golfers,
Yeah.
so.
we
I would
also-
suggest that even if you have to extend the deadline to get the thing out there more,
I just wrote that down.
that's better than creating some artificial deadline and only hearing from golfers.
Well, she's not going to be back until the 1st of November anyway, or
Right,
close.
that was sort of my.
So that's why I said, let's just extend it until the end of December. That'll be plenty of time for people to go and find it, and we can gather more information that way. Is that okay?
We also, Bob, have a registration system. It's called ActiveNet. We have, I would say, 30,000 emails. And so those are soccer players, those are childcare, those are aquatics users. We could also send out a link through that system that would capture anybody, and those are people, those are in district and those are out of district people, but those are people from all walks of life. We could definitely do that too.
I will liaise with Julian.
Okay, that's great. Glad to hear that one. December 31st is a deadline now. We just changed that from,
Yeah.
all right.
And we'll get Tom involved. That'll make 3/4 row Vikings on the project. And we know it'll-
Exactly. It'll go a whole lot smoother.
then we'll know-
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving right along. Old business. Hey, Tom, you want to talk about the new business? We can bump you up.
Okay, thank you. So I just I got a point of clarification. So I've been hearing some things around in regards to the $5 surcharge that was implemented back in July of 2023. And so, I wanted to clarify basically what that money is earmarked for, because what it was presented, back in April or May of 2023 was that it was a surcharge to help fund the clubhouse, the new clubhouse. But what I'm hearing now is that, no, that's not the case, that it's actually being earmarked for maintenance. So I wanted to find out from Kellen or a Jim or whoever, what's that $5 surcharge earmarked for?
My understanding, I created Amber, or I didn't put it in the system, but it was always called the Golf Course Improvement Fund. It was not Golf Clubhouse Fund, it was Golf Course Improvement Fund that could be used for anything.
And I can even talk a little bit about that, Tom. So I looked at it today, and we have what we call monthly reports that we use to let us know where the money basically is. And I did look at it today. I think there's 208,000 in it. Does that sound right?
155.
155.
Yeah.
So that is.
I like your 208 number, Julie.
Yeah,
Go with
really.
Oh my
Got to
God.
figure out where that came from.
I know.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it. I was looking at that today, and it is set aside. So you have, green fees, and then you have I want to say there's probably 10 accounts that are listed, and that money is sitting there, and it does say specifically golf course improvements or golf course. It's specific to the actual clubhouse. I
haven't heard any rumblings of using it just for maintenance purposes. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
but,
incorrect.
I don't know either, but I heard it, so that's why I wanted to get some clarification on that. Golf course improvement, clubhouse, whatever you want to call it. That's my understanding what the fund's for. So, like I said, I just wanted to clarify that because I've heard a couple people mention, oh no, now it's going to maintenance, and I'm like, well, why would it be going to maintenance?
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
Not at all. I just looked at it today because I wanted to make sure. I wanted to look at it in the active net reports, so it was there.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, the current board has the ability to do what they want with that money.
Well,
But it was the clear intent of the board at the time, of which I was part of,
Yeah.
is that money was for a new clubhouse.
Thank you very much for telling us that. Yeah. We were here, I believe, and we heard the same thing. There was 4 or 5 of us that were on that original advisory committee that specifically remembered that. But I spoke to one of the board liaisons last month, and they told me that it's not specifically earmarked, or it has to be earmarked. But then I presented that to another board member. I don't know if I even should say names or not, but I'm not going to. And he said, well, it's part of the budget, so it has to be changed. If it's going to change, it has to change on the beginning of the new year, new budget year. That's what I was told. And so that's why we wanted clarification, what was going on with this.
Don't you dare spend anywhere else.
If you look in so I know the packet for our board meeting is online now. Kat put it on today. And if you look in that board packet, you will see activity reports, or you will see a whole bunch of numbers, and it'll tell you exactly where that money is. So if you, I can't remember what page it's on, but you have to go through, I don't know, 100 pages or something like that. But you can clearly see, it'll say golf course, it'll say green fees, and then you'll see all the accounts actually listed online. So if you, that's just, it does show that it's separate, but.
So the reason that all that is brought up is because there's going to be some funds needed when we start this process further than what we're doing right now. We're just gathering right now. But once we need the RFPs, and there's multiple RFPs, RFIs. That takes money to put that out. And we had no line item where we could say, okay, this is where it comes from. This is the money. We always have to go to the board to ask them for, or the staff, you just tell me which way to go, I don't know, to request for that money, request for whatever we're trying to do. It's all up to you guys at that point, correct? Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what that.
So that's the reason my
Money's for something
concern,
like
I'm
that
bringing
sort of
this up, I want to make clarification on this. And so if you guys can assist us and give us a little guidance on that, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay. All right, anybody want to say anything about that? Nope.
I think, Bob, if you go under old business, one of the things we want to talk about is our action plan or guide.
Yeah,
and in that talks about.
We're getting to it. We're getting to it. He froze up again.
He's a ventriloquist. He talks without his lips.
You're breaking up a lot, Roger.
See in Hawaii. He's got
No, are you in Maine or someplace back east?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said he was in Maine.
Maine, okay. Yeah, that's a bad connection. I wish we had a better connection, but you did bring up one that we are going to talk about. Where is it? Yeah, the action plan. Has everybody seen the work plan that Roger and I worked together on? As far as the liaisons? You have? Okay,
I haven't read through it,
okay, okay.
but I received it.
All right, so, Roger, did you open up the email from me today to see the draft of the work plan for 2024-25?
No.
Okay. I took what we worked on, or primarily you, and I broke it down a little bit further, and I think I sent it to everybody today. As far as that new up-to-date work plan. So we haven't had time to discuss it, and I would like to further shelve this, but I think it's the way to go. It gives everybody, from the liaisons, board staff, whatever, to the committee, and how to go about getting this thing accomplished up to the point of operation. So, Don, you're going to be of value here. If you allow us to, take your information, we would love it. So we will have to get together at that time and as a one-on-one or three to do that, okay? So I'm going to put that on my agenda to do. Roger, you want to continue talking about that at this point?
Bob, I haven't seen your plan, the revision, so I really don't have any comments other than, if we're going to move on, we got to talk about what groups are we going to be gathering information from?
That's the next step. You're right on. You're following my agenda. That's great. All right. The next line item was the decision of going and looking at different locations, clubhouse locations, as we talked about, and how we're going to go about doing that. So I'll open it up for discussion. Roger, it sounds like you have some information that you would like to share.
Not only visiting clubhouses, but also contacting various groups, as was mentioned a little bit earlier. It's important to get input from not only golfers, but from the community. And I put together kind of a list of ideas of some of these committees, including, the local Chamber of Commerce, the city of Newberg, local visitor information groups, the Oregon Golf Association, Winery Association, service groups, educational groups, and this, of course, the CPRD staff and the Restaurant Association is some of the we might be able to meet with or discuss and get some about what their thoughts are about the new clubhouse and what should be included. The idea was to take a look at these groups. We as a committee decide which groups we want to on and make assignments that committee members make these contacts and find out what these groups would like to see.
Yeah, and I do, in the draft that I sent you today, you will see that I broke them down, and there is 11 of them that you were talking about as far as the community and the business groups that we want from them to input. One thing that Julie, I feel so proud of myself, pointed out today is that and Don, is that there's avenues that we can take to gather more information, send them the questionnaire and have them return via email, or have them have a link to that online questionnaire that Kat set up. So that is going to be in play.
I think the groups don't we may want different information from them rather than the golf community. And we ought to take a look at maybe what other input we want from the other groups.
Can I ask Tom? Tom, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Can you hear him? Is he breaking up with you? Because he's breaking up badly here.
Yeah, no, he's Roger's breaking up. He's got a bad connection there, or the the Wi-Fi signal's not that good.
Okay. Roger, I'm sorry, but we got half of that information that you just said.
Perhaps Roger could call you and you could put it on your speaker?
Sure.
On your phone?
Call me. If you don't mind, Roger. I know, what is it, 9:30 there? No, 3. Yeah. 9:30.
Where's he at?
Maine. Did you confirm that, Roger?
I'll try.
All right. All right. I'm gonna put a hold on that right now. Let's keep moving forward. There's Roger.
Roger Coolman.
All right. All right, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah. Bob, I was just saying that
Hang on.
the current questionnaire.
Turn your speaker off there.
Mike.
Your mic, I mean. Let me.
People who are golfing. But I think we want different questions for the different groups because they have different perspectives.
Okay.
So the current questionnaire would not be appropriate for everybody.
I see. Okay, can that be shelved until a later time? Maybe next month?
Sure, we could work on that.
Yeah, I think we
The
better.
executive committee could work on that while we're, for the next meeting.
All right, would you? That would be great. All right, thank you, Roger. Okay, I'm gonna leave you on. I guess not. Okay. Okay,
So
then,
again, sorry to talk so much. What was your point of, so you've got this, your list of the restaurant associated, the blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
So how are you expecting to collect information from them? Because, I mean, that sounds more like some one-on-one conversations with leaders or that kind of thing. I mean, we don't want 10 different surveys because
absolutely not.
then statistically, you don't have any validity
Very much.
to your results.
Yeah.
And so, but just to sit, I think you're better off to sit down and have a conversation with
Sure.
people on that list. And, have some common questions you ask all of them, but certainly some of them are gonna be geared one way and some are gonna be geared depending on who the people are and who they represent.
Yeah, we're aware of that, and there's questions that Roger was bringing up when we had the conversation, and that specifically pointed to that. There's certain questions that you would not ask somebody that is in the wine industry or whatever about what they want in a golf course clubhouse. So we understand that,
Right.
but
And the other issue, I'm just gonna throw this out here right now, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, when, I know the gentleman from Allison, I think, brought up the idea of weddings.
yeah,
The problem with weddings is we don't have enough room to park people as it is. Nobody wants to get married on a Wednesday afternoon when nobody's playing golf. They wanna get married on a Saturday or a Sunday, and there's no place to park people. So you're gonna have to overcome that whole issue if you're ever gonna think about trying to have weddings at the golf course.
See, no place to park people?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, okay, thanks.
I think Kellen will second that idea.
Yeah.
Hey, we put them out in the field and back behind the clubhouse.
And the city's gonna require, we're gonna have 200 people at this event. Yeah, plus the golfers, the city's gonna require as part of their ordinance, the number of golf and the number of parking places. We had that problem with the pool, to where, we fought not to have so many. They wanted the park area and so on, they wanted all that paved, all parking.
Oh, wow.
And so you've gotta really be cognizant of how much property you have, what you wanna do,
Yeah.
and what the
Oh,
city's
yeah.
gonna require.
Yeah, and you need the greenery that they require, landscaping, et cetera. We understand that. Anybody that's been in the commercial business or a business of any type realizes that we're under the controls of the government in that regard. Understood totally. So I think we can overcome that. It's just, it's good to understand that you're gonna have
Yes.
all these people and,
Because we don't have a lot of extra land for parking on the area. So, if we don't want to get to a Saturday and say, okay, we're only gonna have half the tee times a day because we got a 200-person wedding coming. Because, then there's no way in the world that wedding is gonna make up for that income.
So you were part of the beginning of that rendition? Is that correct? Were you part of the rendition 2 years ago? The rendering of the new clubhouse?
I've seen that, yeah.
You've seen it, okay. So there was a parking around that area. You could go over and look at it. It's going to be addressed. It has to be addressed. We all know that. If you have a facility that
I
has
understand.
500 people that are going to be,
I understand that, but the idea of a summer wedding on a weekend when the golf course is full, there's not enough property to have enough parking places for that.
so
There
would
just
that
isn't.
be an argument to say, no, we don't want this clubhouse because of that?
No, it's an argument for the idea that, weddings at the golf course aren't gonna work.
Yeah, but using that as a revenue source
Have
because
your
it's
wedding- you have to
not
have your
feasible.
Wedding at the Allison or at a winery. We're not gonna have weddings at the golf
Yeah.
course. Unless you wanna have your wedding on Wednesday afternoon at 2, that's fine.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just trying to nip that whole idea in the bud. Sorry.
yeah, well, I don't want to
Yeah.
be nipped in the
Well-
bud yet. It's a gathering
Yeah.
information. We're not there to make that decision, so anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I think, from a, business standpoint, going out and getting all these, doing the surveys and all that stuff is great. And that's all information we need. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So, to understand how we're going to be able to make this work, because I agree 100% with Dawn that Clubhouse is never going to be a revenue generator or a positive revenue generator. It's an amenity that supports, the existing facilities. But so from a business standpoint, I think Jim brought this up a few meetings ago, that we need to do a feasibility study to understand from a business standpoint what's our market out there, and what can we get for the space, and the various different iterations of how what we want to build, and how that's going to be supported. So like I said, I truly believe we need to do that. I guess the question I have is, how do we go about that conversation? How do we go about starting that process? Because obviously we have no ability to spend money. So what's the mechanism to try to get something like that going?
This committee needs to do a little bit more work and then simply ask the board to pay for the feasibility study. They don't cost.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
They
I
don't cost
just want to know what the steps are.
Yeah, I think the committee has some more work to do before we get to that point. And I want to be clear when I say that the clubhouse will not make money. That's the clubhouse per se. New clubhouse can be a catalyst for making money by having more tournaments and people coming for dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be the catalyst for money, but the way it'll get put down on paper and and line items and stuff, the clubhouse per se will not make money, but it'll be the catalyst for more money, for more golf, if you have the 27 holes.
So Don, let me ask you, what are the steps that we as a committee need to do to get, to be able to get to a point where we can put it in front of the board and say, hey, this is what we recommend?
We want to do what we're doing now. We're on the right path. We want to talk to groups that are going to be interested, the restaurant people and the wine people and all that, and just continue down this path. And once we've gathered more information, then I think we're in a good position to go to the board and say, okay, we've done all the preliminary stuff. The next logical step is to do a feasibility study.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if we were, I didn't know if we were, if there's additional things outside of, gathering the information from the community, from, the businesses around town and that type of stuff, if there's more outreach that we need to do to help support, facilitating, pushing forward with a feasibility study.
I mean, Jim's on the board. What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was going to say that really, I would assume the board's not going to do a lot at this point, because we're waiting for the new superintendent to take charge of the district, and we want to see where his or her thoughts are on what you're doing first. I don't want to have somebody come in and say, nah, all that work you guys did, I want to wait and see what this person says, and we're hoping we can have a person on here, by the first part of February.
That's what I heard.
So, that's important to us. I mean, I've always been, I've always been in favor of a new golf course clubhouse and 9. Just what type, and is it going to support itself from the 9 or whatever? Because at the end of the day, the taxpayers run this district, and if something goes in the hole, then that affects the entire district. And so, no, I definitely know from the plumbing in that place you got right now that it's not the best place. But are you going to have a 5-star restaurant that I've heard? Are you going to just have are you serving burgers and fries? Are you doing this and that? You need to come up with all those possibilities.
Sure.
Before we go to it. So,
And I believe the survey, when you see the results of the survey, which I have here, if you want to see them, right at this point, you'll be surprised at how many people want a restaurant. They want a bar and a lounge. They want the outside seating areas. Those are the things that are very, very critical to know when we're gathering information like we are.
No, and I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. It'll be interesting to see when you do the feasibility study, what that can support itself, or what can.
But that's
Yeah.
financial
It
as well.
helps connect the dots.
Yeah.
It does.
Exactly.
Don't
Okay.
worry about Jim. I will turn the screws on Jim. When I was on the board, we dug a big hole in the ground, filled it up with water, spent
Oh, is
20,
this payback?
spent $20 million on that, and it'll never make
And
a
put this
profit.
big old
20
structure around it.
Yeah, it'll never make a
But I
profit.
told you that before we built it.
But wait a
I
minute,
knew
last
that,
month,
Randall.
I think Jim said it's turned. It's in the black now.
It'll go like this.
$5 maybe. You know,
Hey, but it's in the black.
It's
That's
in
all
the
that
black.
counts.
Yeah, very important. All right, you want to go on? You want to move on here? Pretty much done.
We're past our time.
Yeah. Okay, we've been commenting, the CPRD board and the staff. Anybody else want to add anything?
I do. I want to say that I don't know if you've ever visited Loft and Lies. You know what that is?
What?
It's called Loft and Lies,
Where's that?
and it's in McMinnville.
Oh, it's like is it the indoor simulator?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to the owner of that facility, or that restaurant, actually. It has a restaurant next to it. It's called the Commissary. And then there's like a walkway. Tom, have you been to it?
I have not. I haven't actually even heard of it. So this is new to me.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, there's a restaurant, and it's a very nice restaurant. It's dark wood. They have all kinds of food. It's really good. They have great breakfasts. And they have a bar in the back, and then there's a walkway, and it's attached to this I think there are 2 golf simulators, and then a multi-sport simulator. And it's not huge, but it's big enough. And they have a bar in the back. It's a whiskey bar, but they have a full bar in the restaurant as well. And so I visited there, golfed there a little bit. It's really, really neat for a rainy day. But I talked to the owner of that restaurant, and he is in the restaurant business. His family, I think, built Jay's. They have a lot of restaurants in that family. And so that would be a perfect fit for a restaurant, for somebody to come in, if you're going to build a clubhouse, for someone to come in and actually manage that and take care of that, because that guy knows restaurants. He knows how to turn a profit. He's been pretty successful, I believe. And it's just really fun. And the other thing I like about that is that you can participate in the rainy season as well. So you'll have people that are coming out to use the golf simulator when the weather is not great, and then also spending money to, drink and have food. So you should check it out. And so he said that he's looking for places, that in McMinnville, he's booked all the time. We had to make a tea time, I think it was 2 weeks in advance. It was about $65 or something like that. It was really fun. We had a great time, but I can see that as something that would fit in the new clubhouse. That would be something that, would basically, they would run it, and then we do all the rest.
Okay.
So just something to check out and look and see if you're interested, and he'd be a good person to talk to.
Could you spell the name Loft and?
Loft and Lies.
LOFT and Lies. LIES.
Oh, Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Loft and Lies.
Oh, you got it.
It's right there.
Okay.
Golf Lie.
I thought she said lies. Lives.
LIES.
LIES. Yeah.
Yep.
It's really neat.
Loft and Lies. What a weird name. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up on their website here. And that looks pretty cool. I mean, looks like a fun setup.
there's another new golf simulator place right across from near Bridgeport, across from the
Envision Golf.
Claim Jumper or whatever. It could be
Yeah.
signs. It's
Envision Golf.
Play 18 holes here and stuff. I didn't stop
Really?
and go and look.
Cool.
Yeah, there's Envision
try that.
Golf. The big one is X Golf. They have 3 locations in the area.
Yeah, there's one over where golf not Golf Galaxy, but the other one used to be in that strip mall in Tualatin too, done by Best Buy.
Yeah, that's the X Golf.
That's X Golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's for off season. It's a great idea. You know, from what I've seen with those is that golf simulators, you can make them very, very cheap and a pain in the ass for the people who are working where they're not working consistently.
Yeah.
And so that could just be, you know, if that's something that would be great to have, but again, they can be more trouble than they're worth. So if that is something that we wanted to look at, it's just like I've seen a few of those already go out of business.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter if you have one of those types of bays inside and there's room for it, that, you know, it's something that operates well and it's something that is, you know, not a hindrance and it's not slowing things down or making the people experiencing it.
So we'll liaise during lunch and go see that guy.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do it.
Yeah. All right, I have no more, except for the next meeting, and they're not gonna meet until December 5th?
Correct. And I wanted to allude to that really quick. If you need to come to the board, every board meeting, you can. But if you don't want to or need to, then, you know, like the pickleball committee is going quarterly. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you, but it's kind of, you know, whether you want to or not. So you have the option. You don't have to, it's not
I
required.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what we're doing now, we're just gathering the time and the, when we can get the van available, if everybody wants to jump in the van and go over to some of the local clubhouses that we have in and around 25 mile an hour. Roger. He wants to say something. Roger, you want to say something?
I do, Bob. I wanted to ask Jim, why did the board packet come out today when they're not supposed to come out till like Wednesday?
Because Kat, who puts the
we're not
board
going to have time
packet
to get
together,
our
is on
meeting, our
vacation.
minutes into their board packet.
So, based on what Jim just said, because Kat is on vacation for 2 weeks. And we have an echo here, so I'm going to take you off of that. Oh, wow. Okay, I can hear your background. So that's the reason. Oh, the minutes. Yeah, that's true. We can throw the minutes in real quick and get something to them before. I'll just send it all to.
Or you can just defer it to the next meeting if you want. I mean,
Oh, we can do that?
yeah. I mean,
But
it's
that's
not-
December 5th. We're gonna submit it December 5th. Yeah.
So his audio would be public record.
Okay.
Not if you can't.
So I
hear
gotta
us.
hang up on you because you're either gonna be an echo. So Roger, could you want to repeat that?
I just, are there anything that we want to have in our minutes of this meeting that we want to make sure that the board would act on at their next meeting?
Okay.
I've just been removed from the meeting, so I guess I'm done.
Oh,
No, you can talk on the phone.
yeah. You could talk on the phone, he said. And
Yeah,
it's
he took me off
still a
he
public
took me off the
record.
webinar, so.
Yeah, that's the end of it, I guess. Why is it off? I don't know.
It's still going.
Like Big
Oh.
Brother, and I mean Big
I got
Brother
kicked off.
happened to us.
Yeah, okay, Roger got kicked off. It's probably on his side or his part of Zoom, whatever it is. But anyway, let's get together, Roger, when you get back home.
Okay.
And we'll set that up and do what we can as far as the minutes, getting them over to the board or the staff. Anyway, you're done. Go have a nice vacation.
Thanks. We're going sailing tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to take you off the speaker now. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to go into details at this point. All right, Roger, thanks for being part of this. Bye-bye.
This is Jeff. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Jeff, wow.
My apologies. I think I was on a different speaker. I tried to ask a couple questions during the meeting, but so I've been recording all the meeting minutes and I'll submit them as soon as we're done. So
Thank you. All right, were you the one that called me this afternoon saying that you were not going to make it?
I was, yeah. We're just kind of in the death throes of 10:15 for tax season. So
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so we are trying to set up sure, what?
How are you going to determine which clubhouses you're going to visit?
Just look at them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to be part of it, like I said, if you'd like to be part of that group, we could certainly do that. If we had a group of 3 members plus a liaison, would that represent?
We're not part of your committee. He's not part of your committee.
I'm not nothing.
I know.
I'm not
So,
on
yeah,
the,
yeah,
I'm not on the board. I'm not
That's
on
fine.
this committee. I don't really
That's
exist.
fine.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right.
I know we're late, but one of the questions I was hoping to ask Don was, what was it about Centennial that made you think of Chehalem as a contemporary that we could follow?
It was moderately sized, but just very efficient in the way it was designed. It had a lot of kind of half walls in it, so the whole thing was sort of interconnected when you were inside. Like, the pro shop was next to where you got your, where you checked in if you were going to get a card or this, and then the restaurant was right next to that, and there was an outdoor patio. And there was a big area for groups. Obviously, it was 113 the first day that Pete and I were there, so there weren't any groups outside. But it was just very interconnected, and it was a really good size, but very nicely done. And again, to use the 50-cent word, there was just a great synergy inside that clubhouse between the different areas of it and stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. So we don't have a date, the next meeting date. So we will address that later when we get together, and we'll submit it at that point. That's for November.
Yeah, we could get calendar.
Is there a board meeting in November? I
No.
kind of thought that we took the November off.
We did.
Board meeting day would be Thanksgiving, so.
Yeah. So no, unless they have a special need that they wouldn't want to address, they are not going to meet until December 5th.
Got it.
All right. All right. With that, I think we can adjourn. 6:50.
Okay. Yep. Ran long.
We're adjourned.
Okay.